Oi, oi, how are we doing? You all right?
Hello. Yes, I'm fine.
Oh, I can't
How
get
are
to.
you?
Oh, there we go. There we go.
How are you,
Got
Matt?
there in the end. I'm a boomer. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Is your internet working better? It looks to be.
Oh, yes, yes. They had to come and change it. Well, you had that when you moved to your house, but here it happens all the time, especially because the electricity, it's never the same. It's not steady.
Yeah.
So it sucks really. But no, I'm okay. It's okay now. How are you doing?
Splendid. I've had a good weekend. Uh,
Yes.
Went for a drink with all my colleagues on Friday. Went to a housewarming party on Saturday. And
Ooh.
yeah, it was good. The best thing about American parties is there's always loads of food. If you have parties back home, there's always about 200 different types of alcohol, but nothing to eat. It's like in the UK, we're only concerned about the boozing, not the eating. So
I
that's good.
I don't know, I used to host dinner parties at my house in the UK, so there was always lots of food. But I never, yeah, I don't know. I never went to, yeah, I would only go to dinner parties and the
Mm.
pub, so I don't know. And there was always plenty of booze, that's for sure. In the United States, I am not a very big eater. So whenever you go to the United States, I'm used to European restaurants that they serve you like normal, regular people kind of size of food. But when
Yeah.
you go to the States, I remember I ordered like pancakes things, and it was like it was in Minnesota. It was like a huge, like 8 or 9 pancakes, and then it has like all kinds. And I looked, and I'm like, "Who is this for?" And it goes, "That's your order." And I said, "Did I order a family size?" And they're like, "No, that's the regular one." I'm like, "Oh
Yeah,
my
they love that.
goodness."
You know what they do out here though? A lot of places, even if the food's not that good, as long as the portions are massive, everybody talks about it and they're like, "Oh, it's dead good, that restaurant," just because they give you your food on a garbage can lid, and
Oh,
there's like a stone of food. They do it everywhere out here. Massive. There was cake in the fridge at work the other day, like
oh,
little individual, what was supposed to be individual portions, and it was like a
mhm.
house brick, like like
Oh god.
two to 3 pounds of cake in one serving. I was like, no wonder people are fat knackers. Like half the
Yeah,
battle would be half in the portion
you know,
sizes.
I can't. I was talking to a friend actually, we went to eat the other day, 2 days ago, and it's like I said, I don't like to go to restaurants where they put you so much food. I just can't eat it. It absolutely puts me off because I get depressed knowing that I won't eat it and it would be wasted. So it's just
Yeah.
like I'm serious, it takes away my appetite. I much rather have like a regular sized plate. I don't know. I'm used to European restaurants that are like that. You know how it is.
When we were in the south, we used to go halves all the time. Me and my missus, we'd go out and we'd just order one meal and go halves on it because you could
Yeah,
never finish a full one.
yeah.
That's pretty good if you're going out with someone.
Yeah, no, no,
Um,
that's great. That's great. So what's news? What are we going to talk about here? What are we going to talk about here? Are we
well,
transitioning into something?
first thing I have to do is tell Robert Mann that I know I'm not a boomer. I'm Gen X. I'm being ironic when I say I'm a boomer. I mean
What am I? What am I? I
I've got
was
the
born in
technological grasp
1968.
of a boomer. You were born in what, 68?
Yes. So what am I?
I think don't you count
Old.
as you almost count as a boomer. 60 the boomers is like post war generation, so it's like
Uh,
46 to like 66 or something. So you're nearly a
oh,
boomer. I think
but
you're
but
on
but
the
I'm not
cusp,
a
like,
boomer then. So I'm not a boomer.
so you're Gen X and boomer, I think, like
I'm
mixed.
not Gen
Like
X.
I'm
I'm Gen X. I'm Gen
Yeah.
X. I'm Gen X. I'm
And
Gen
I'm
X.
only just Gen X. Like I would have been
You're in
what
the border.
I'm on the border because yeah, it was like I'm 45. So when the millennium, because obviously it's got to be a little bit fluid. The terminology they use for millennials is you were sort of coming of age around the time of the millennium. So because I was born in '79, when the millennium rolled around, I guess I was like
Oh
20.
wow.
So you're not coming of age. You sort of grew up. I think
No,
technically I think I'm Gen X. If I was to
you
Google
are
it,
Gen X. You are Gen X.
I think millennial is like 84 to 2000 or something. Maybe
I
you were
have
born.
no clue. I don't even know why we have terms like that. Why do we have terms like that? I really don't understand it. It's like,
Well, I
like,
mean, we have to classify everything, don't we? That's how humans
Why?
navigate the world. So we
I'm
can
just
like,
old, guys. I'm 56. That's it. I'm old,
no,
or mature.
I
I'm
do
mature.
understand that. I think that we like to do it so it makes like common parlance flow quickly.
But if
Like,
you
you know,
don't know what
because
the hell you are, like, how are you gonna? I don't even know what a boom. Like I was watching, for example, I watched Dan Wooten and Link Lauren, and they were talking about Baywatch. Link Lauren is like 27. He has
Baywatch.
never seen Baywatch. You know
Never.
what I mean? He's
It
never
was
seen. I was
big when
like,
I was a kid.
for me,
All
it's a
the
show.
boomer dads used to watch it because apparently it was written into the contracts for the girls that they had to have a certain amount of cleavage shots like every 2 minutes. They had to show
Running,
some
running.
clear, yeah,
Yeah,
jogging birds on the beach. So it was like,
yeah.
yeah, that was
Run,
boomers. They
run,
use the
Pamela,
term boomer
run.
because of the baby boom after the war, don't they? That's why. Because obviously after the war ended, they were promoting everyone to have loads of
Yeah,
kids.
yeah,
So that they were,
yeah.
and that's what happened. Like, I mean, for example, I've got a lot of cousins in America, distant
Uh-huh.
cousins,
Mm.
because me
Don't we all?
granny's, I think her parents, yeah, but there was 4 boys and 4 girls, and
Mm.
all 4 of the girls came to America because there was no cock after the war. If you wanted to get some action, if you're a woman in England, loads of them moved to America, Canada, Australia, the diaspora, because there was no blokes left. Like they'd lost a generation of men, hadn't they? So
Mm.
that's why they're
Yeah.
called boomers. That they went forth and multiplied in the 50s, didn't
Mm,
they? Because we
mm.
needed to. We were down
Yeah.
a few million blocks.
But I can't tell. There's like when I watch Link Lauren, it's like you never seen Baywatch. I mean, he's heard of it,
Yeah,
but it's like I'm like, now you're not. You're gonna tell me you don't know about Star Trek. Well, no, they would because of the new Star Trek movies, but they wouldn't know the series I grew up with.
yeah.
This is why they have no respect for William Shatner. They don't know. By the way, guys, I'm a Trekkie. So I'm a hardcore Trekkie. It's like they don't have any respect. They don't understand allegiances, kind of thing. Like to something. It's like when I grew up with Benny Hill. And I was talking to a friend of mine. You would never be able to make Benny Hill in this environment.
Yeah, Benny Hill was great. Like, I remember it as a kid. And he only stopped because he started getting too old and it was a little bit creepy. He's like always chasing young lasses. He said his producer said to him once he got to like 50, they were like, yeah, it's a bit weird now, Benny. Because he was a bit of there was always a sort of
I love this. It's
sexual aspect to it, wasn't it? But it was
the
funny.
women was he chasing the woman? I can remember, or were the women chasing him?
Well, it depends on a bit of both, generally.
No, no, like, remember when he started and he would be following these women and they had that song, "Tan, tan, tara, 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 tan, tara,
Yeah,
tara,
yeah.
tara," and I think he was chasing the women. They chase him on a live in flames. They chase him. Yes,
He was
yes.
surprisingly popular in the United States, Benny Hill. Like anyone over the age of about 50, whenever I talk to them, they go, "Oh, Benny Hill." They all love Benny Hill in America. Really popular.
Yeah, but not now. Not if you were to, the other day, Seinfeld of all people got criticized. He was talking on some stations that you don't have black people on. It's like, and he's the
Really?
one who came up with the great face. Not that there's anything wrong with it about talking about gay people. Remember?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I
Or
mean,
friends. You wouldn't be able to make friends. Too white.
this is what I tell you though about the modern era, right? The bizarre thing about this stuff is all the people who call themselves liberal, they don't. These people don't understand the meaning of the word. Like a woke person is in no way liberal. Like they want to stomp on your individual autonomy
Yeah.
and forge you into this collective. And Jerry Seinfeld is clearly not right wing. He's obviously just a sort of 90s liberal, but this woke
Yeah.
shit, they don't even know. They don't know the meaning of the word, these people who call themselves liberal today. People like
Yeah.
AOC or Bernie
Oh
Sanders, they say,
God,
oh,
that
I'm a
woman is.
liberal.
I don't even know why that. You know what? It bothers me with the problem with internet nowadays is that, I mean, any idiot can talk. I mean, I'm talking, but but you know what I mean? It's like you have this AOC woman who's clearly unhinged,
Yeah,
and I mean, they have access. She has a platform because of the political position she has. So she has almost an automatic platform. You have people like Harry with an automatic platform who are able to snap their fingers and get BBC. You have, well, Megan, not so much. Megan can't get very many people to come. I mean, she has to use Harry for that. But but she has some platform like Amber Heard, or like they have platforms, and they it's like, I did a video. Yeah, I did a live yesterday with George the Giant Slayer. He's awesome. You should have him on. Because he's not woke. He did something called the woke monologues. And I
Right.
mean, and it's like, basically, it took him 3 years to do. He summarizes everything, like when sanity walked out the door, literally, and
Yeah.
then, because the 90s or 60s or 70s liberal or 80s liberals are not the same as today. Today they're not
No.
liberals. Today they're dictatorial, in my opinion.
Yeah, massively, massively control from the control freaks. They want to have total power over every part of your life, to the point where they're arresting people for thought crimes. Like, did you see in the UK? I mean, we've been talking about it for a long time, so you're aware of it. But
Yeah.
every week there's a new appalling story from the UK about blokes getting arrested for
Yeah.
like just having an opinion. Like, there
Yeah.
was a story. Carl Benjamin covered a story yesterday about a bloke. He was a retired copper, and they went round his house and they said, "Oh, you posted something on Twitter that was anti-Semitic," and it
What
wasn't.
was it?
It wasn't even remotely anti-Semitic. He was
Oh
responding to
my god, they
somebody
would arrest my
else.
friends if if they heard
Yeah,
us
I know, I
talk.
know. But this is the thing, and this is what the point I make. Like, this is what a liberal thinks. Like all the old liberals in the 90s were always saying, like, you can say whatever you want. Like, you should be allowed to be publicly bigoted. Like,
Yeah,
it's not a
I'm like,
good
I kid you
thing,
not.
but you're
But
allowed to be.
that's the thing, guys. You know what? I really mad. I think I sent it to you because, for example, in the woke monologues that George the Giant Slayer said, he summarized it perfectly. He said that freedom of speech became hate speech if it didn't go with what they said. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
If what you said went against it, that is hate speech. You're
yeah,
qualified as hate speech. It's like science became a form of political oppression. I mean, it's really really great. I mean, and it's like for almost 40 minutes nonstop. And I mean, did you see that mother fudger, that bastard that killed those little girls, that he threw boiling hot water at the
yeah.
police guard? Why is that? I'm
Why is
sorry,
he
I'm
still
a
breathing?
little mad,
Yeah,
but why is
that's what
this
I'm
guy
saying.
still breathing? Why is this guy
Yeah,
still
why?
breathing? It was the
Find out you're
perfect
from the
chance for
UK.
the coppers to beat the crap out of him, and yeah, do with him. He's
Yeah,
wasting
what's the point in him?
taxpayers' money.
What's the point? Honestly and truth, having a pop with Harry, yeah. Can I find his pal doesn't need security, total moron. Royals need duchies or sovereign grant, not both. It's so bizarre, as much money as he's got, that he's whinging about it all the time, like the horrible
Who?
little ginger Harry.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. And did you see him knocking at somebody's door? He was
yeah,
walking without bodyguards.
yeah.
He didn't have his bodyguards, but you know why though? Because
Why?
he didn't have his friends are not answering his phone calls because he's calling from private numbers, right? And he
Right.
couldn't remember the correct address. So he's walking down the street trying to call his friends, but his friends don't pick up because, of course, this is an unknown number because they're just as posh. But do you know where he was? He was in Fulham. And Fulham is actually a pretty rough area. You can have a nice neighborhood, but if you see a ginger twat walking along with a phone like that, he's asking to be robbed.
Yeah, yeah. I'd love if he got mugged. I'd love it, because that woke shit just increases the crime, doesn't it? Because it's twofold, the woke ideology, when it comes to criminality, which is why reform are doing so well. It's twofold. They increase it because they massively increase the amount of the policies, increase the
Yeah.
amount of young, angry men. And this is what I've said loads of times, why it's so
I would
risky
have
doing
given
it.
anything for him to be robbed. I swear to God, he's such a whiner. If I would have screamed and
But
shout and jump out the bed.
but think about it, violent crime is committed by men. Like 90+% of violent crime is committed by young men aged between about 15 and 40. Like, that's it. You don't get pensioners doing it. You don't get women doing it. And it's twofold, because they hugely increase the amount of young men that they import from poor countries. And then they also attack the police and say like, oh yeah, we don't remember when AOC and them were like, oh, we don't need police, we just need social workers. I was like, oh yeah, good luck pushing a social worker at a big African with a machete. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh my God.
It reminds me of Demolition Man. Do you remember Demolition Man, the movie?
I
With
kind of
Sylvester
do.
Stallone.
I kind of do. Yeah, Demolition. Can you remind me who's the actor?
Sylvester Stallone and
Oh
Wesley
yes, I
Snipes.
do. I do now. Yes, I'm
And
very
it's a
bad with titles.
great, yeah,
Mhm.
it's a great film. It's very prophetic because nowadays everybody's saying like it's like a documentary. Like they watched Demolition Man and said this is what we should do to society. And there's a scene in it where Wesley Snipes is beating the shit out of all these coppers, and
Yeah.
Rob Schneider goes, "They're police officers. They're not trained to deal with this kind of thing." And I was like, "That's true now, isn't it? That's what they're
Yeah, they
doing."
had to revive him from an old era, right?
Yeah, he
That
was
he
from an
was putting
ex-era.
cryogenic
Yeah,
in
they
the police, so
defrosted
he
it.
didn't understand why the police weren't beating the shit out of anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I would have paid good money for? And I'm not calling violence a disclaimer. I'm not calling for violence, but I would have loved Harry to be robbed by two Islamic guys and be caught on
Yeah, it'd be
camera.
amazing.
What would have happened there? See if Charles would have asked for forgiveness, or if Keir Starmer would have been asking. I would have loved to see him big mugged by a
I'd love it.
by a bunch of
Foreign
Pakistanis.
men. Yeah. I'd love it. I'd love it. Get beat up by a tranny. It's like, but it's so weird though, like, because my old fella always said this. Britain is a class society to its very core, right?
Yes,
And
it is.
I've made this point loads of times. I bet you know all about the whole thing with Madeleine McCann, right? Because obviously
Of
you're
course.
Of course,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
So I know because you do current affairs. Well, Madeleine McCann, if Madeleine McCann's parents talked like me and they were from a council
Oh, you could have
estate
been
in
in jail, buddy.
England, they'd have got
You'd be
jailed.
serving jail.
They'd have
You
got
would still
jailed.
be in jail.
Yeah, but because they were doctors and they were middle class, they got to meet the Pope. And it's the same thing with all this criminality. Only young, working class, poor, like council estate or girls in care were getting diddled by these grooming gangs.
Yes,
Only poor people. If
Yeah.
those grooming gangs were operating in Kensington and all of the rich people's kids were getting fingered, they would have ended overnight.
I should be laughing at those things that you
But
say,
it's
but I
true,
can't.
isn't
I'm
it? Like
sorry.
it's every fibre of the British society is based on this class thing. And Madeleine McCann proves
is.
it. You know, if it was me, I'd
It
be
is
in
true.
jail. If it was them, they go to meet the Pope. Same with the grooming gangs. And what I'm saying is, maybe that'd be a blessing in disguise. Like maybe they would actually sort the streets out if Prince
It would have
Harry
been great to
got
see Prince
beat up and
Harry
mugged.
walking the streets of Fulham, which is quite rough in some areas. He walked, and he was in like in 2 or 3 houses, banging at near the end without his bodyguards. Near the end, he went from the end almost 500 meters. So from 3 houses, went the whole way of the street trying to phone his friends, but his friends were not picking up the phone because, of course, he's calling from. He's so paranoid. He's calling from different numbers, you know. But if he had
Yeah.
been robbed or mugged by Pakistanis and the police had been called, I wonder how forgiving Charles would be, or Keir Starmer. I wonder, like what would happen, and that would be good money. I would pay good money for that. What happened in the end to that Raducana guy, the one that threw boiling water at the cop?
Oh, he's just got, life in prison, basically. Although, no, he didn't get life, did he? Because he was younger. They just gave him, 90 years jail or something. I guess with modern technology, he might live to get out. It's disgraceful. And
But
that's
what
what I've
happened?
said.
I mean, what happened to him? Is he punished or anything?
No, because think about it. They were like, oh no. Yvette Cooper was like, oh, we're going to punish him for this. I was like, what are you going to do? Lock him up again? He's already in jail. You can't. They realised that we're
They can
totally
extend it.
toothless.
They can try him and add more years. 52 years is St. Jamieson.
52 years. Yeah, well, but I
52.
mean, it's he's locked up for 52 years. There's no threat when you're doing stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
there is.
just,
He is a threat. He's throwing boiling water at cops.
no, I'm saying there's no threat we can put against him. Because what you're going to do, lock him up for longer. He's already got 52 years.
Yeah, but
this
then
is
you
what I'm
make sure he
saying.
doesn't get out.
There needs to be ramifications for it. That's what I'm saying. If you do stuff like that, you need to just be listen, the whole argument about prison by the lefties has always been, it's not about revenge. It's about
reforming.
rehabilitation.
That's bullshit.
And the point is, if you kill children, you can't be rehabilitated.
No.
There's
And he
no
hasn't
way.
shown remorse. That's the
I
people don't
know.
understand that this guy has not shown remorse. He's like
No.
Anders Breivik, the guy, who killed 69 kids, and
Oh
then
yeah.
Alan of Utoya. I mean, the guy is saying, I would too. I'm upset I didn't kill more,
You know, on right wing YouTube, they call him Lord Anders, like as if
no, really?
which is funny. Yeah, call him Lord Anders, like
Oh
praise
my
Lord.
God, that's terrible.
Yeah, which is
No, the
funny.
McCanns,
But
the McCanns,
what I'm
and I
getting at is
think
though,
McCanns did it. Like I'm gonna say, this is just my opinion, so your channel doesn't get canceled. I believe the McCanns did it. Like I don't even
yeah.
know, and they got just more money. They're irresponsible. They should have at least been charged with child neglect.
Oh, there definitely would have been if they were poor. Definitely. Grasshopper in the chat said, "Who do you like better, Paula, AOC or Crockett?"
AOC or Crockett? It's hard. It's a hard one.
That is a
Like
tough one, isn't it?
AOC, I can't stand her voice. I mean, this woman is completely unhinged. I
Yeah.
really do think that I don't I really do think that she's mentally unstable. I don't even understand why this woman, I mean, it's insanity. I mean, we're being ruled by idiots, literally, like people who are in the Senate, people should really, really vote. And you know what? Your vote counts. Look what happened. You got Trump elected. So your vote clearly counts. This is
Yeah.
why, this is one of the messages I always give to people, that the elite wants to make you believe that it's hopeless. There's nothing you can do. But you can see with Donald Trump, they were shocked. The elite was shocked
Oh yeah,
how
massively.
people voted
Yeah.
in mass. So you see your vote, there's always something you can do. They pushed it too far, and I've always said it to you, Matt. As a mom, the moment Jeffrey Marsh had a platform, and I got the platform because I called him a man.
Yeah.
I lost my TikTok account because I called him a man. And I had
Shocking, isn't
almost
it?
180,000, and my videos got like 23 million. And it was just one TikTok I did about, well, no, a couple, but I wasn't rude or anything like that. I just said how I got very angry when he said he did that TikTok saying, don't listen to your parents or your grandparents. And just, if you're confused, come to my Patreon. It's only $20, and don't tell your parents. And I'm like, how can this man not be banned from, and while wearing lipstick and those ridiculous dresses, and
Yeah.
stuff
And
like
his
that?
weird, creepy teeth that are like
Oh God. Yeah.
super glued in his head.
Yeah.
It's proper weird, isn't it? And this is what I'm saying though, like they are super authoritarian. Well, actually, I'll segue into it because I pulled the story up here about how authoritarian they are, and they call themselves liberal. Look at this. So this is the story about this bloke. Again, I think Americans think we're making it up. When you tell Americans,
Or
because
thought
they
crime.
actually live
That's
in a relatively free country, they think we're making it up. They don't nobody in the rest of the world realizes how bad the UK is. It's proper
what do you mean? What is a
authoritarian.
thought crime? You
So a
know what?
thought
That
crime,
movie? That movie with Tom Cruise? What is it called, guys? The
yeah,
one where
Minority Report. Minority
Minority
Report.
Report. Now you just by thinking, if you're pissed off, can you imagine getting
Yeah,
arrested for that?
yeah, honestly. And so I'll read the story. So basically, he said he's a retired special constable, and he's spoken out about free speech being under attack after he was detained over a social media post warning about anti-Semitism in Britain. Julian Fawkes from Gillingham in Kent was handcuffed at his home by 6 officers. So they sent 6 blokes round his house by Kent police, a force he served for a decade. It said they arrived after he challenged a supporter of pro-Palestinian marches on X. During the search, police scrutinised his collection of books, and yeah, they were going through all of his stuff. One of the coppers picked up one of his books and said, "Ooh, this is a bit Brexity." It was like, well, 17.4 million people voted for it. You're allowed to be Brexity, and this is what I'm saying about them policing your very thoughts and your opinions. Like the coppers come round your house and go, "Ooh, looks like we've got a Brexit supporter." Well, I'm allowed to be a Brexit supporter, shithead. What are you going to do about it? It's ludicrous to me that they do this stuff. Anyways, it says, yeah, they raised concerns about his shopping list. Ooh, there's bleach on your shopping list. What would you possibly want? Must be for a bomb. No, it's because I clean my toilet, you scruffy bastard. You might not do it because you live like a pig. But I do. It said it was after Hamas attacks in October led to pro-Palestinian marches in London, and he responded to a post from an account featuring a Palestinian flag, and he wrote, "One step away from storming Heathrow looking for Jewish arrivals." So the police,
My God.
because the police are thick. This is what my last Twitter account got banned for, is because people are stupid and they can't read. Like that is the exact opposite of anti-Semitism. He was responding to someone with a Palestinian flag on the profile, saying, "You're one step away from storming Heathrow looking for Jewish arrivals." But because the coppers can't read, they took that as him saying, "I'm one step away from storming Heathrow and looking for Jewish arrivals." Do you know what I mean? Like basic
They
literacy.
edit stuff. They edit.
Like,
And
so
you
they're
know what?
just thick.
They don't look for hate speech on on Islamic people. They don't look for. I've seen
No,
some
no,
stuff
they're
that
not.
they post, and they're like horrific. It's like we're gonna storm and take it down. Down with the infidels. It's like the knife,
100%.
and
And
they
that's
don't
what
do anything.
everybody's saying. Petition in the UK, Gov to get cat. The thing is, they do nothing that these people can do as the police. If they can come around your house and have a go at you for having a Brexit book, what's a
But
petition
then
going to achieve?
again, Matt, again, I disagree with you. The reason why they are getting away with so much is because people nowadays are apathetic. It needs something extreme to get people going. Like for example, in the US. In the US, why did the liberals really lost the election? When they allowed men to participate in women's sports, when they allowed
100%,
men
yeah.
in girls' bathroom, that was taking it too far. Never mind racism, never mind whatever taxes. I can guarantee you, Matt, and I told you this. And I remember all the conversations I told you? I said the downfall of the liberals is that thing that they let men in girls' bathroom. No parent in the world is going to allow somebody
I
like
know.
Jeffrey Marsh. I would punch the shit out of that guy if I had a kid and he walks into and my son comes to me. I would be serving life in prison right now if Marsh, like, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts. I would, you know what I mean? I don't even know why
Yeah.
that's tolerated.
It's it's so crazy, isn't it, that this tiny little cult gets to be in charge? Like, because as you correctly say there, I would say when it comes to the trans stuff with kids, I'd say even like 80% of the left don't agree with it, but the tail is wagging the dog. Like, basically, there's about 10% of the Western world are woke, and somehow they get to be in charge and make every decision. Like, the British government proves it, because the British public's been anti-immigration, mass immigration, for at least 20 years. It was
Yeah.
controversial towards the end of Blair's premiership. Blair said, "Okay, we got it wrong, we brought too many people in." And then for 20 years, they've just kept bringing them in, 1 million people a year, every year. And we've been dead set against it for 2 decades, and they don't care. They don't care. They're like, "No, we don't care what you want. We're doing it anyway." So how can anyone say they live in a free country when they're
No,
doing the exact opposite of what you want all the time? And then look at this guy. So because he posted a tweet that was definitely a warning about where anti-Semitic behaviour could lead, they burst into his house, handcuffed him, locked him in a police cell for 8 hours, and then gave him a caution, which he accepted.
well,
Because he was scared that
Oh,
if he
this is what
got
drives me insane. This is what drives me insane. And this is why I said once those three little girls were murdered, I said,
yeah
if the entire United Kingdom went on strike indefinitely, people don't show up for work because you are entitled to do that under the Workers Act.
yeah
If the entire United Kingdom goes on strike for 1, 2, 3, 4 days until there's a reform, I can guarantee you, and you bring the country to a standstill, you affect their wallet. The rich people, they don't like their wallets touched.
yeah.
You
No,
shut down the
you are
airports,
right
traffic
about
air
that.
controllers wouldn't have been able to do anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you are right about that, and I'm cynical, so that's the issue. Like, but yeah, it is apathy. Like, if everybody got as pissed
Every-
off as
Yeah, they're not like our generation, it's like, and I can guarantee you that people came out to vote for Trump that probably never voted just because their parents, we're talking they're in their 40s, or grandparents, even young generation, who are young parents who are not into that
yeah,
voted. So this is why
Yeah.
I say to you people, because that's we can do it. Tris, they always take it too far. I've seen it so many times. They always take it too far. Like Charles calling Keir Starmer to congratulate him for those white supremacists or those extremists. Those were the people who were protesting the death of the three little girls.
Yeah.
Like it
It's
doesn't help when you have a king that's an idiot. It really doesn't help.
King Sausage Fingers is extremely unpopular, isn't he? Even people that were monarchists, like previously. I know
You,
loads of people who've messaged me and said, like, I like the Queen, but
I'm
I'm
just
done
waiting
with them
for
now.
William. I'm just waiting for William to tell you the truth. I mean, because I was a big queen. I believe that if the queen were alive and she was in her 70s, none of this shit would be happening. I can guarantee it.
I think she should
The
have given
queen
it to
was
her
not
bloody
woke. The
sister,
queen
me.
was not woke. The queen was not woke.
No.
The queen was not
Well,
woke. I mean, and I think this is why she held on to power for as long as she could. The poor thing, because she's from sturdy stuff. Like walk it off. Eating from Tupperware. Like you know, she was very frugal. People used to mock her because she was very frugal, in the sense of, she didn't like to waste electricity. She shut off the air, or put an extra blanket, it's like
yeah,
kind of thing. So
yeah. The
I
politicians could learn from her. Because that's
yeah,
another weird thing. Back in the day, the politicians all used to travel like normal people. They used to travel on trains and go coach. Now they all get private jets everywhere. Like that David Lammy, that fat, sweaty, greedy heffalump currently serving as the foreign secretary who doesn't know anything. He everywhere he goes on a private jet. And Mark Stein talked about it, saying he got on a plane in the 90s and he said, by coincidence, he had like the British Prime Minister one side of him and the Aussie Prime Minister the other side of him, just a normal flight. And now they just get private jets everywhere because
yeah.
they're
Yeah, they can't
just,
fly anywhere, like, what the hell is that? What are they doing that for? And I remember they used to fly a coach. I
yeah,
just want
no.
to say something to the chat. I can guarantee you, when William is just biding his time. I don't think Charles is going to be alive for long. I mean, it's not that I wish him dead, but I don't think it's. I think that within 2 or 3 years he's going to be gone. And William already started by breaking off. He's got his own lawyers. He's no longer with Bucky. Like it's happening like what he did with Harry, that they broke households kind of thing. So now he chose his mother's former lawyer. I can guarantee you the first thing. I hope I'm still alive. Um, he's gonna return Princess Diana's HRA status, and he's gonna have every single painting or anything of Camilla removed from anywhere, because he just kicked her sister out and her son out. And I mean, he's just being civil. I really do believe that, and I like him. I do like Prince William, and I just think he's being smart about it. And I like Catherine, but
I like him a lot
I
more
like
than
Prince
Harry.
Anne. I
I
like
liked it
Prince.
when Harry was crying about him breaking his little chain, wasn't he? And pushing him into the dog bowl. I was like,
Oh my
what a
god!
fanny. So at
You know
least
what?
Prince
What
William
an
will
embarrassment!
gripped
What
it.
an embarrassment that
Well,
BBC thing was. I mean, and he called himself. I did 2 tours of Afghanistan. I immediately thought of you. I
yeah.
did 2 tours of Afghanistan. You
Mm,
you wanker, you ginger twat. You said that the only time you saw a wounded soldier was on your way back to the castle to be greeted by two former future kings, and the
yeah.
wind blew and a curtain inside the plane opened and you saw a badly wounded soldier. I
Yeah.
mean, how can you go to Afghanistan and never see a wounded soldier?
Well, because he was so far in the rear, he had to send his laundry forwards. That's why he wasn't actually doing any real graft, was he? The soldier that he seen was a bloke who I was served with. I was in Kajaki
Oh,
with him.
really?
That was Ben
Did he
McBean.
make it?
Yeah,
Did he
yeah.
make it? Oh,
He lost one arm and one leg.
oh.
But he's doing all right now. He's on Twitter.
Oh, and you serve with him? That's so nice, Matt. You should have him on your
Yeah,
show.
yeah. Actually, I don't think he does much on social media, but he has got a Twitter
You
account.
should have him. I think that's great for him to talk about experiences in the war and stuff like that. I really do think veterans deserve to be heard. And I have huge respect for you, you idiot. So
Yeah, well, when you're young, when you're young and daft, you do that stuff, don't you?
you know
I
what
certainly
also
didn't.
bothers me? This fudging people, ultra millionaire, privileged people, calling themselves victims.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Like
I
now,
told you.
Michelle Obama. Did you see Michelle, Big Mike, complaining? I had to pay for my daughter's flying in the plane, and I had to pay for this. And now that I'm transitioning, and I am doing a video about that. Now that I'm transitioning, and even Megyn Kelly laughed about it because she says she knows what's out in the internet. She knows people call her big.
Oh, she definitely does. Yeah, yeah. The big
But
Mike
she's not
thing's
a
got him.
victim. She's that everybody's racist. Isn't she like almost a billionaire in that racist country?
Oh, and see, this is what annoys me so much, right? The thing that irritates me the most is I've obviously got a chip on my shoulder about the whole class thing because I'm English and I'm working class.
Yeah.
It really irritates me how they're so greedy, these scumbags, right? They want all the power, all the privilege, all the money, all the fame. They want all of that, and they want to simultaneously be able to go, oh, I'm a victim. Like the one thing you've got, if you're a poverty-stricken, grooming gang victim, the one thing you've got is that you can claim to be a victim. But these rich people want everything, and they want the cherry on the top to be, I'm a victim as well. So, like, you're in this ludicrous situation where you've got people like Meghan Markle, who are multimillionaires living in the wealthiest part of the wealthiest state in the wealthiest nation on earth in $20 million gated mansions. They've got fame and fortune and power, and they've got the 4-speed dial with Oprah Winfrey and the president and all this shit. But then she still wants to be able to go, oh yeah, but you know what? I'm a victim and the bootneck is oppressing me. It's like, really? So you get everything. They want everything. Like, at least let me have
Not
the
enough.
one thing.
Not enough. What they have, they're victims because they don't have enough or they're not popular enough. They can't take criticism. If you criticize them, it's hate speech.
Yeah, it's preposterous.
But it's very interesting because, for example, Megsy hasn't really used racism when Bill Simmons called her a fucking grifter.
Yeah.
The Spotify guy. Have you noticed how she doesn't call for example, this Stewart guy just mocked her for this woman does not know how to dance. I'm sorry. I mean, she does black people at the service, because she just went, oh, by the way, this is something that really bothers me. Beyonce now is almost an albino looking woman. Did you see that?
I didn't see that, no.
Oh my God! And now singing cowboy music, and then that's not what the concert is called, Cowboy Carter, right? And her hair or weave or whatever the hell you want to call it is like, it's albino. Her eyebrows are dyed blonde.
You mean a wig? A wig.
Yeah.
It's
Can
so
you
weird as
imagine?
well.
You know what I'm gonna do, man? I kid you not. And just watch me. I'm gonna find some wig that is an afro, and I'm gonna really tan myself, and I'm gonna do a video like that.
Yeah, because it is weird. Again, the hypocrisy is unending with them. It is weird how if a young teenage kid who's white has dreadlocks, they'll go mental and go, oh my God, that's cultural appropriation. But if Beyonce dyes her skin white, puts a blonde wig on and dyes her eyebrows, that's fine. Like she's just making a fashion statement. Again, it's the hypocrisy, isn't it? And that's why it annoys everybody. Because
you haven't seen her. You haven't seen her.
No, I haven't. I'm not really. I don't do quite as much pop culture stuff as you
No,
do.
but it's not it. It's not it. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna share with you this so you can look at her. At least she put some braids on this one, but in her tour, no braids. It's like just look.
Where you send it? Where you putting it?
It's here. You just have to share it. I'm putting
there you
on.
go. At the stage. Here we are. Remove other media. Crikey.
You have to remove your GB thing.
No, add that. Oh, okay. Oh, Christ. Yeah, that is weird, isn't it?
It gets worse. At least there she looks kind of black. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see, because when you see her here in her Instagram and the tour, you're gonna see it right now. Oh, look, Kevin Blatt is there. I was like, Kevin Blatt, Beyonce.
That's super weird, that, innit? She proper looks weird. Why would you?
If you look at here, okay, okay, I'm gonna share this with you here. I'm gonna stop sharing that one. But she doesn't want to be black. I really do believe that. I just think that. But can you imagine if I did that? If I showed up with an afro? Look at this. You can share that. You can share that. Look.
Oh yeah, I mean that doesn't even look like her, does it? I thought that was like Mariah Carey or someone.
No, 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 no. Look,
That's
that's her. Look
Beyonce.
at blonde. Look at blonde in her hair, all
Yeah, she
blonde.
looks like
What happened
Shakira,
to her
doesn't she?
afro?
Yeah, that's super weird. She looks like Shakira from here.
Yeah, and now even with her daughter, she's doing that with her daughter. Like her daughter now. It's like it's look at they're all blonde. They're all blonde, and it's like
Carl said it's not a grass skirter born through the nose of an explorer in a pot.
I swear to you, like it's this is unbelievable. I just don't get it. If I were to do this, and I am going to do it, here, look, look at this.
Yeah.
Would you have thought it's Beyonce? Look at her
No,
hair.
no. Like I said, from here, it looks like bloody Shakira. She doesn't even look like she.
And
She's got
Shakira,
to be
see,
bleaching.
oh
She's
yeah,
got to be
look at her,
bleaching her
look at her,
skin or
look at
something.
her, look at her hair.
Yeah. Yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Why do they hate themselves so much? Like I don't get it. I swear to God, like yeah, if you see Beyonce, she used to be very beautiful, like a black woman.
Oh, yeah, we know what's. This is what I was talking with one of my employees, right? Who's happens to be black, and he said to me, we were talking about just before Trump got elected again, like a few days before it, and he said to me, right, I hate, I hate how liberals think they know me, because he's a Trump supporter and he voted for Trump. But because he's like middle class basically, and he works in the aerospace industry, he makes good money. He voted for Trump because he's like, of course, why would I vote for someone who's going to tax me more? But he said like woke people take one look at him and go, oh yeah, you must be voting for Kamala Harris. And I said to him, I said, mate, honestly, I think if I was black in America, I'd have the biggest chip on my shoulder ever because I would hate it, because it's similar to the class thing in England. Like, I hate it when people hear my accent and think that I'm stupid and they're cleverer than me because they went to a posh university. If they have a plummy accent in England, they think they're clever. And if they hear my accent, they think I'm stupid. And it's the same with these people. And that is like the definition of racism. Like, these woke people are deeply, deeply racist. Like, they're obsessed with skin colour and they think they know something about you just by what you look like. And I don't do that. The only equation that I do in my head is they're more likely to be a Democrat voter because that's what the metrics say. But there might be a Trump supporter. There's plenty of Trump supporters that are ethnic minorities or gay or lesbian or whatever. Like, it's only one little aspect of your personality, what your race is or what your sexuality is. But these lunatics take one look at a black guy and go, you definitely love Kamala Harris. And I was like, that's the definition of racism. You think you know everything about someone just by what the colour is.
I'm sharing something with you so people can see what Beyonce used to look like.
Oh, what's this?
That was Beyonce. And here she already straightened her hair.
Yeah.
Look how dark she was. I mean, she was dark. That's pretty much her. Look.
Yeah. I mean, to give her a credit, she is better looking than Big Mike.
My God. Yes. But I mean, she's getting wider and wider, and I don't understand why they're allowed to get away with that. And if I were to wear an afro, I am culturally appropriating. And now Hilaria Baldwin.
I don't even. Oh, right, that annoying Spanish bird who's married to.
No, momentito. She's not Spanish. She is Hillary Hayward Thomas from Boston. Her family are German, British, Scottish. They came in that boat. They found it. Her family. You can trace them back to the Boston tea. When they came with that ship that they sang.
She's as white. She's as white as me, basically.
Pretty much, sweetie, pretty much. Her father met a bloke in a flight once, and he liked the Spanish culture. Her father is a teacher somewhere. And then they spent a couple of summers in Spain. And suddenly now she's speaking, and I can tell you that her Spanish sucks. And when you're a native Spanish speaker, and it really annoys me when people say, oh, she speaks perfect Spanish. No, she doesn't.
Yeah.
No, she doesn't. Un momentito, señor. No, she doesn't.
Well,
you know what she's saying? You know what she's saying in her talk? You know that she's doing this serious, right?
Yeah.
She says that her brain, that if we criticize her about her and her because now in her show with Alec Baldwin, she flicks accent, right? And it drives me crazy because I don't if I have an accent, I don't do it on purpose, And
Yeah.
then she's like, It's an illness that I have, and you're mocking me because I can't process it like that." I mean, bitch, you could speak proper English for 30 years until you met Alec Baldwin,
It's
and
so
then when you
ludicrous.
met him, you just went to Hilaria, from Hillary Hayward Thomas to Hilaria.
Hilaria. Well, you know what? Again, though, this is what proves that everything they're saying's a lie about privilege, right? Because if being a minority or being a woman was such a big pain up the arse, why is everybody always desperate to be on that train? Like, you've got white people, like, I mean, think of it, Elizabeth Warren, that Rachel Dolezal. You've got numerous instances now where white
Yeah,
people are
Rachel Dolezal
pretending.
was canceled. Did you see the Netflix documentary on Rachel Dolezal? This poor woman was canceled, and she has proper black kids, and she basically identified as black. She liked the black. Basically, what Beyonce's doing now, trying to be a cowgirl,
Yeah,
blonde,
yeah,
like, and it's okay because, as you said, they're the leads. But if a poor woman like Rachel Dolezal, is like, who has
yeah.
black kids and like the black culture, she was outed. And then we have Ilaria or Hillary. And Hollywood caters to this shit. I was talking
Uh,
about that was a great live I did yesterday. It's like I didn't understand because we were talking about the woke monologues. That to me, Matt, for example, we have Amber Heard, we have Blake Lively, we have Jada Pinkett, we have Meghan Markle, and rather than being exposed as they would have been years ago, they band together and double down.
always. They always double down, don't they? Always.
But it didn't
Uh,
used to be like that. Do you remember? Well, probably you're too young, but in my time, I remember somebody like Meghan Markle or Amber Heard. Oh, they would be exposed. 60 Minutes. I remember that 60 Minutes when you guys are too young for this. 60 Minutes is like when they with the tobacco company when they found out that is actually addictive. I remember that was a huge thing in this newspaper guy, because they exposed him.
yeah.
We wouldn't be able to get a Watergate now. We still don't know about the white powder at the White House. If it had been in the 70s or 60s, we would know because this
Yeah.
is why we have Watergate. This is why a president was impeached.
Yeah, we're way more corrupt now, aren't we? Well, like I said, we've compared our leadership to like 30 years ago, and now it's not even close. Like even the people you didn't like 30 years ago, they were at least more impressive than the absolute degenerates that are in charge now. Like it's just ridiculous.
It is actually quite horrible. And what's happening with Tommy Robinson?
Oh, he's still in jail, isn't he? Still in jail, still in solitary. Again, but we covered this earlier. That's what the story was about earlier. The UK is a police state, and people from other countries don't believe it. They don't believe it. They think it's all like right-wing media or something. Like, the UK is a police state. The lad shouldn't be in jail. Sam Mellier shouldn't be in jail. All these housewives who got angry about dead children shouldn't be in jail. None of them should be. And this guy who got criminalised for saying the exact opposite of anti-Semitism on the internet, and he got a caution for it. He got locked in a cell for 8 hours. The UK is a police state. I only get away with saying what I do because I live in the States. The
I'm
videos I
surprised you
make...
haven't gotten arrested when you landed in the UK, buddy.
Yeah,
I
well,
would
I
have gone
told
to
you
see you. I
why.
promise you. I promise you I would have gone to see you. I would have just said,
I told you why, though. And this proves it's a police state. I had to pay for a visa, and I left my British passport safely tucked away at home, and I travelled on the American one because I knew I'd get nicked if I took my British passport. And as a British a former serviceman who's born and raised 20 generations of people in England, I shouldn't have to live that way. I shouldn't be travelling on my American passport and paid for a
Don't be a
visa.
little now. Come on, don't be Big Mike now.
I'll never have a cock as Big Mike. So she's got me beat in one department. But
What is it with her bashing her own husband now?
I
Did
don't
you
know.
hear how she's been trashing Obama?
Oh,
Did you
really?
see?
Maybe they're gonna get divorced then. I don't know.
Haven't you heard what? Okay, this is what she said. I don't know if you guys heard that. She said in her podcast that when her mother died, Obama said to her, "You're next." Why would you say something like that?
What, she said that?
Yes.
Really?
It's all over the news. She said it to her brother, "You're next," and she's going, "I'm not going to be next." So she's
It
trying to
might
be
be.
this insensitive jerk.
It might be that Big Mike's got so much testosterone flowing through her veins, it makes her a lot more aggressive than Barry. Just because Big Mike's got a cock like a Coke can. She's a lot more hyper testosterone fueled than Barry.
But it's just
So
so weird because there are no pictures of her, of pregnant or anything, or him or Big Mike pregnant. This is really weird. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And it is just that I don't know. It's the victimization of it all. That now she's a victim. Is like I am in therapy. You were
yeah.
at the White House. Your husband got you to the White House, one of the most privileged places. You had the First Lady Air Force tour, whatever the hell it's called. I mean, just because you had to pay for your daughters to go in there, it's like, oops, sorry. And then when you got out, you got like $60 million on a budget for Netflix. Oh my God. And she's in therapy because she's transitioning.
We're living in a world where Oprah Winfrey says she's oppressed. Like, if that is someone who can call themselves oppressed, who can't? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's mental.
How can they call the United States racist when they're billionaires? If they were racist, they would never, ever have, they would have never, they wouldn't even, you know what I mean? If anything, Oprah was being racist towards this girl, Monique, that they
I
wanted,
know.
and Tyler Perry and all of those people.
Mental. It's mental. Well, didn't we all think that we basically killed racism when Obama was voted in as the president twice? Like, this is the maddest thing. Like, he was the
They're still
president
calling
for
it the
he was the
US racist,
president
though.
twice, and they've memory hold the entire thing. And now you get young black people in 2025 going, "Oh, there's never been a worse time to be black than in 2025." I was like, "What? You mean 8 years after the president was a black man?" And you were literally property 200 years ago. Like 200 years ago, you could own people. And then you had a black president for two terms. And now you're telling me in 2025, oh, there's never been a worse time to be a black man in America. I was like, you're a
Are you
psychopath. Like,
insane?
if
Are
you
you
even
insane?
say this stuff, you're just ignorant and stupid. Like, there's nothing else.
I always say that white hetero mans are at high risk. You are the minority now. It's like
Yeah.
now they're almost even embarrassed to say I'm hetero and I'm white. You can't even say white
No.
because you're considered racist.
Oh, in 100 years' time, I'm going to be like a panda. Like, there's going to be none of us. Like, it's so weird how they're always talking about minorities. If you look at the numbers, it's like India, China, the whole continent of Africa, everywhere is minorities. And the only place where there's like dudes who look like me, there's a few 100 million. And they're like, oh, yeah, you have all the power and the privilege. I was like, yeah, cheers then. We're going to be extinct. They're going to have to put people like me in little breeding facilities in 100 years' time, won't they? Shows like constant pornography and impregnate people artificially. Because it's mad, isn't it? It's mad.
No, but it's like you know what? I feel sometimes bad calling myself Latina because I am. I really have almost zero. I don't know if I have any blood that is Latin, but I was born in Nicaragua. But my
Yeah.
grandfather was from former Yugoslavia, and he came to Canada as ambassador, and he met my grandmother there. This is on my father's side, and my grandmother was born out of half Russian, half French. And on my mother's side is Spain from Spain, as I was going to say Spain from Spain, Spanish from Spain.
Spanish from
And my,
Spain, yeah.
and my grandfather was Lebanese. So, but I was born here by accident, but I kind of grew up here and I have an accent in every language I speak because I grew up speaking them and like I didn't even know that I was speaking different languages. To me, it's just there were different words for the same thing. So,
Yeah.
but I got, like, I hope there's nobody politically sensitive here. I was talking to one of my friends yesterday, and he goes, "Oh, my little wetback, how are you doing?" And I said, "I don't know, you redneck."
No danger of that on this channel, Paula. Trust me, I've said worse things than that.
And it's like, because I laugh every time because every time they call me like that, I just see myself getting out of the river, crossing the border from Mexico, like my little wetback. And I'm like, I'm better than you, you redneck. It's like, I know, no
Yeah.
offense to rednecks anywhere. It's just not the way that we talk to each other,
That's how
But
people do.
can you
Yeah,
imagine?
normal people. Normal people have banter, and that's what I'm saying. So the UK is a police state because effectively they've banned banter. If you have a little bit of banter with someone that's from one of these many protected, again, they talk about minorities. It's everything other than me. Like everything's protected, and this is the thing. If everything's protected, nothing's protected. I've talked
Yeah.
about this before. How there shouldn't really be such a thing as a hate crime. There shouldn't be. They should just have proper
Crime.
punishments for crimes. It's ludicrous that if you kill someone, you can get out after 10 years. But if you kill someone and they happen to be, you're unlucky enough that they happen to be from one of these 2 dozen protected classes, they go, oh, yeah, you don't get 10 years for that, you get 30. They should be getting 30 years anyway. We're far
Yes,
too
we-
soft on crime. Just get rid of the
Yes, we
hate
do.
crime legislation and just lock people up for murdering people. It's completely ridiculous.
I went on the Spanish channel to do a live with one of the YouTubers, and the new in the middle of the live, habemos papa. It means we got a new pope, right?
Yeah.
Oh fuck! When I found out who he was, it's like, jeez, why can't we get a decent pope? Because okay, this is my take, guys. I have loads of gay friends, loads. It's almost insane because my son, when he was 8 and we were in Spain, he came to me all worried and he said, "Mama, I need to talk to you." And I'm like, "Why?" And he goes, "I could see him. He was really stressed." And he goes, "Mom, I'm straight. I really like girls." And I'm like, so what? Because all of my friends are gay. So what I'm about to tell you is the following. I do not believe that men should get married nor women should get married. Because I believe, and the reason they justify marriage is they say, oh, well, if medically something happens, well, give this person a power of attorney. Tell them, this is the person who will represent me because, we're supposed to reproduce, and this pope that's coming, this pope I'm very unhappy about it. And I'm
Is
a
he
Catholic.
just another lefty? He's just another
It's
lefty
worse,
bit.
it's worse than Papa Francisco. It's worse than Papa
he is?
Francisco because Papa Francisco was he's like pro-Islam. Why can't we? The last good pope to me was John Paul II, and I met him, guys, which was I was so honored to have met him. I mean, he really. I want somebody who's the defender of my faith, not pro-immigration, pro-Islam. We should all. You know what? People in Islam, they really defend their faith. Jewish people really defend their faith. Why can't we have, somebody?
And I'm agnostic running to atheism. I don't even care about religion, but I totally agree with you. And it's for that inherently logical reason. It's like, why is it all right for everybody else to defend themselves? Like, you should have a devout Catholic as the Pope who does Catholic things instead of some bloody pinko from America who's like, you know what? Well, do you remember when Obama said it? He was like, oh, not only was 9/11 nothing to do with Islam, it was the fault of Christianity. I was like, oh, okay then.
And never mind that. This Pope has tweeted against Trump because he accuses Trump of anti-immigration. But then he doesn't take into consideration that Obama proudly announced, remember when Obama came and did that thing? Oh, if you're an illegal, you're getting out of here. He is the president who has deported, I believe, the most in the United States. Why did that Prevost guy tweet? Oh, and he's criticizing Bukele, and he has tweeted pro Maratrucha, who's one of the worst things, or the Gang 13, like he's pro. Why are you being political, you idiot? You just stick to the 10 commandments, give your bloody masses, and and I was talking to my friend because I said, I have nothing. I mean, and I was talking, why are gay people getting preferential laws? I mean, men as men, you're a man, and you're a woman, you just prefer sex with a woman or you prefer sex with a man. Why should that give you additional rights? You already have rights as a male being or as a female being.
They always say, don't they, when women are whinging or LGBT, they say, tell me one right you haven't got that I have. Tell me one. And none of them have an answer.
They have more.
Of course they do. But this is what I'm saying. And back to my original point. If it was so awesome being a straight white man, why the hell is everyone pretending to be black, pretending to be Asian, pretending to be a woman? Like, there's way more male to female trans than there are female to male. If it was so awesome being a bloke, why the hell are all the men lining up to go, I'm a woman now, even though they've got a gravelly voice? I'm definitely a woman now. It's preposterous, isn't it? But like I said, the world's gone completely mad. Upside down, left is right, up is down. The Pope's not Catholic, because that's an old idiom, innit? In English, you say, is the Pope Catholic if something's obvious? Now you can't, can you? Because he isn't.
Did you know that Francisco, the one that died, he was a Jesuit? which he shouldn't have been.
I know, but you know what I'm saying? Like, two idioms we use commonly in English is if something's really obvious. You say, does a bear shit in the woods? And is a Pope Catholic? Well, in this day and age, the world's gone so mad. The Pope fucking isn't Catholic. He might be.
No,
Or
and
the King of England is supposed to be the head of the Church of England, and he seems to be more of a Muslim than a Christian.
Remember that Easter thing that
Yeah.
people should embrace the things from Islam and the other ones from the Jews. Like,
yeah, the defender of the faith spends all day talking about Osama's boys. Anyway, I'm going to have to go because I'm old and I need a piss.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for having me. You have to come to my channel some other time now that the internet is great. And thanks to you guys for coming here. Thank you guys. And I apologize if I offended any Spanish, any Catholics, or any gays in your chat.
Trust me, Paula. They're pretty much unoffendable. My audience. All right, but thanks for coming on. I'll talk to you in a couple of weeks, I'm sure. All right, and I'm leaving because I need a squirt. See you later. Audience, thanks for tuning in. I'm off. Have a good Sunday, and I'll see you all soon. All right, take it easy. Cheers.